What's up everyone? I'm posting a video about my 65-gallon planted aquarium. Now, I've had this tank for several years and it's actually gone through multiple changes in terms of aquascaping layout and the animals that actually call this tank home. The way it's set up right now, had it for about a year, and I'm actually really liking this simpler setup. I've had a lot more complex setups with discus and plants that require a lot more light like Lotsostigma and a fully functional CO2 system. However, setups like that actually require a lot more upkeep and regular maintenance, and after putting in a lot of time and money over the years, I wanted something a lot more simpler just to relax and enjoy. Especially when I'm away for a few days or a week on business or vacation, it's a lot easier than actually having someone look after it for you. So the base of my aquarium is made up from a combination of gravel and substrate, and it gives me a depth of about 3 inches. That's probably where you want to be around if you want a planted aquarium. Otherwise, when your plants grow, they won't really have anything to root into. Now your substrate, which is also known as your fertilizer, is a really key and essential part of your aquarium because it provides the nutrients and minerals that your plant needs to grow and survive, such as iron, carbon, phosphorus, etc. Now, one downside to having substrate is that it only lasts about 1 to 2 years. After that, there's no more nutrients for it to provide to the plants. So you pretty much have two options from here. A, you can either rip up your whole tank and reset it up with brand new substrate, replant your plants, so forth, or you can start dosing your tank with liquid fertilizers, and that's a lot easier than ripping up your tank, and it works just as well. On top of my substrate, I placed several pieces of driftwood and lace rock. Some of it you can't really see just because the plants have overgrown and they're hiding underneath of it. But it does really provide that natural underwater feeling, kind of what the fish are probably used to in their natural habitat. And the plants that I use are called Java Fern and Java Moss. And they're definitely great plants to start off with if you're interested in setting up a planted aquarium for the first time. Alright, let's talk about the fish that I actually have in my fish tank. I mean, without the fish, it really wouldn't be a fish tank, it'd just be a tank full of water, right? So, pretty much the highlight of my tank, besides the actual plants, are the angels themselves. I picked them up from a local breeder when they were really small, and it's just been fun watching them grow over the past 6 to 8 months. I also have a school of Harlequin rasboras, a school of neon tetras, I have a spotted pleco, and I got some really awesome bottom feeders as well. And they all get along really well. Haven't had any issues in terms of aggression levels, except for the angels themselves, who at time to time do fight among themselves just because they're territorial, and that's pretty much natural to them. Now, since we're talking so much about these fish, I'm sure they're getting a little hungry, so let's take an opportunity and feed them. Now, I feed my fish a wide range of food, from dry food to frozen food, and today we're going to be feeding them a dry food called Spectrum Grow by New Life. Now, this food is in small granule sizes, and I feed my fish usually 1 to 2 times a day, 6 days a week. I usually give 1 day rest for digestion. You can tell these guys are really hungry. They will eat up the food very fast within the next minute or so. One of the biggest problems I see with people who are new to this hobby is that they're unsure of how much food to actually feed their fish, and they always overfeed their fish. So that's one thing you really got to keep an eye on when you feed your fish. You're a lot better off underfeeding them as opposed to overfeeding them. Alright, now that these guys are all fed and full, let's move on to the next topic, and that's lighting. Now, lighting is a very important part when it comes to having a planted aquarium. If you don't have the right amount of light, your plants probably will just die off. And plants need about 2 to 3 watts per gallon of light. The light fixture that I use is a 36-inch Core Life Aqua Light. Now, this thing is an absolute beast. It's got two 96-watt bulbs in there, and that gives me a total of 192 watts. which puts me right at 3 watts per gallon. And this fixture is on for 12 hours each day. This is a super bright light fixture. When I actually have the light turned on at night and all the other house lights turned off, you can probably see my fish tank from a block down. Honestly, when I first set up this tank, my neighbors actually thought I'd grow up because the lights were so bright and it would just shine right through the windows. Now, besides being super bright, this fixture actually gets really hot, which you probably guessed by now. And for this reason, there actually are exhaust and intake fans on top of the fixture, and it does a pretty good job of helping to cool down the fixture itself. You're also probably wondering what the heck this thing is. Well, it's basically blue LED lights that I have set on timers, and they come on during night. That's a really nice effect, and it actually helps promote breeding as well. To keep an eye on my whole setup, I use a digital thermometer, and it gives me a really accurate reading of what my water temperature actually is sitting at. Now, by looking at the screen, you can tell that there's two readings, an out and an in. The out temperature reads the temperature of the water itself, and the in temperature reads the temperature of the room. Now, like I said earlier, this light fixture gets super hot, and it's winter right now up in Canada. It's about 6 degrees Celsius, and you can see the temperature is reading about 33 degrees. Yeah, it gets really hot, but it sure keeps the room really nice and toasty. And the temperature of the water is sitting at 24 degrees, which is controlled by the heater that's inside the tank. Filtration and good circulation is another really key aspect of having a really good healthy tank. I use a couple of power heads inside the tank and does a great job of circulating the water and preventing any dead zones in the tank. For filtration, I use an Eheim 2213 canister filter, and it's been going strong for many years. Man, those Germans know how to make some quality stuff. Now, in terms of the actual media that I keep inside my canister filter, I keep it really simple and just use sponges. Now, these sponges do a great job of helping with mechanical filtration, meaning picking up all the bigger, larger physical parts that you see floating around in your tank, and it also does a great job of biological filtration. Now, the one type of media you don't ever want to use in a planted aquarium is activated carbon. There's nothing wrong with activated carbon. It does a great job serving its purpose. Let's say you put in an excessive amount of medication. It will do a great job of helping absorb it up. But it's also going to absorb up essential things like minerals that your plants actually need. And that's why you don't want to use activated carbon in a plant tank. Well guys, this brings me to the end of my video. I know this video had a lot of information in it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it informative, and hopefully learned something from it. Now obviously I didn't cover all aspects of setting up a planted aquarium, and I didn't go into a lot of detail about the stuff that I did cover, just because the video would be so long and there'd be way too much information, and for people who are new to this hobby, it'd just be overwhelming. But I hope this gave you enough of a foundation to get started. And for those of you who really want to get started on a plant tech, my best advice for you is just go for it. It's a lot of trial and error, and I made a lot of errors when I first started off. And that's your best learning experience. Making your own mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you did by giving me a thumbs up. And if you got a comment or you want to ask me a question, feel free to ask me below. Again, thanks for watching this video guys. Till next time.